Dr. McNeil, first of all, let's talk about the move into the MAAC with two A's, not with one,
Right.
as people have become accustomed to here. The Northeast Conference has been home to MU for a long time. Just talk about the overall strategy in terms of switching conferences from the NEC to the MAAC.
Well, as I said just recently, we have always talked about sort of doing the best we can in the conference that we're in to sort of be the very best or the top third all the time. And I think our coaches and our student athletes really accomplished that, because we always thought that if conference realignment was going to happen and somebody came knocking on the door, you sort of wanted to be the person or the school that stood out. Whether or not we were never really looking for it, but we wanted to be in a position to be ready. And conference realignment for us, I think this really was a good fit for us. It's a step up for us. It's an opportunity in men's basketball, absolutely. And we have made a huge investment in basketball. And so we really felt that this was a place where we could sort of find a new home for both men's and women's basketball. And actually, as we looked about it comprehensively, the MAAC offered some real opportunities in some of the other real important sports for us. Not that all of them aren't important, but for both men's and women's soccer, it was a good step for us. For lacrosse, definitely a good step. And their association with the Disney really gave an opportunity for our student athletes to have a really special experience. So when the MAAC came knocking, we were happy that we were ones that they were knocking on the door of, but actually when we finished the whole analysis, we really thought that this was a good move for us. It's a sort of a step in our maturity, and that it was very, very tough to leave the Northeast Conference because they've been very good to us. But it was really something that we had to do to improve our program and get moving forward and to sort of start the next decade for Monmouth Athletics.
As both yourself, President Gaffney, and the MAAC Commissioner, who was here today as well, spoke up, facility so important. The building that we're standing in right now, the MAAC, again, the Multi-Purpose Activity Center. We don't want people to be confused because there's now a MAAC with one A and a MAAC with two A's. Could a move like this have been possible without the building we're standing in right now?
I don't think so. I mean, I think, there were some other conferences that sort of took a look at us as well, and this building is definitely the spectacular centerfold. And I think that Rich Inser, the commissioner of the MAAC, spoke quite handily about it. This is a great facility. And we talk about this all the time. When you come to play, when you're the away team, you want your fans to come and be, wow, this is who the MAAC school is playing against. This is a nice place. They want to be proud about both their home floor, but they also want to be proud about their away floor, and so that you can get your alum and you can get your fans and your friends to come to your facility and be proud about the association that we have. And I think we do offer that for sure. This is a beautiful building. We are so thankful to all the donors in the university, but no, I don't think any invitation would have been possible without it.
How about rivalries now? Obviously, after such a long-standing relationship in the NEC, Monmouth has developed rivalries with that schools in that conference, but some natural rivalries here in the Metro Athletic Conference, being Ryder and St. Peter's. It would seem to be very natural fits for Monmouth to just kind of pick up those rivalries of which they've had with those two schools for a long time in other sports.
Well, yes, I think that's a given. I've now been here just a little over 19 years, and I remember those heated rivalries in Boylan Gym with Ryder on the basketball court, and that was fabulous. We were, filled to the rafters and everybody screaming. So I do think that that's going to be a very easy rivalry to pick up, and we've played a number of years against St. Peter's in so many things. It's a natural scheduling partner for us, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be a New Jersey triumvirate, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Dr. Marilyn McNeil giving us a couple of minutes here as Monmouth making the move into the MAAC, leaving the Northeast Conference, which they have been a member since 1985-86. A couple of sports that obviously have been in question a little bit: football, field hockey, and women's bowling, which the MAAC does not sponsor. The Northeast Conference will continue to sponsor. I know it's been the university's position so far to hope for associate membership in those three sports.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go forward. As I said, we're a charter member of both field hockey and football. I think we've been very good members. We're very competitive, and actually one fact that we have the second highest attendance for football games. We're also very academically qualified. So I do think that we will be great and committed members in those three sports of the Northeast Conference, and I hope that they will see us as positive membership.
Is there a timeline for those sports to have a decision when they would be considered or accepted as associate members? And lastly, is there a backup plan in case the NEC decides to go in another direction?
I'm not sure what the timeline is. Obviously, for field hockey and for football, we need a schedule for 2013 fall, so the sooner the better. Bowling is a little bit more fluid and dynamic in terms of their scheduling, so I think scheduling is going to drive it. We will put in our application as soon as possible. Backup plans, not really. I have had some conversations, but I'm very positive that we're going to be Northeast Conference members, and so that's where I'm going.
Looking at some of the other sports that the MAAC sponsors that Monmouth does not, swimming and diving, women's volleyball, and women's water polo, are there any plans of expansion for the athletic programs? I know men's lacrosse will make its debut next year along with the transition into the MAAC, but has there been any discussion or too early to think that maybe Monmouth would add some more sports under your tenure?
Well, I believe we will be adding another women's sport. We are short a core sport for the MAAC, and on the women's side, certainly not on the men's side. So I think we'll be looking at adding a women's sport, which I'm always a fan of. We have a pool, and we've had a long-standing former swim program, so perhaps that might have the opportunity that it's been waiting for.
One last question. Men's basketball has been so important to the success of the MAAC. They've had NCAA tournament wins, they've had runs, and to their credit, they basically said that is the driving sport for their conference. How else does it help the other sports here that Monmouth has in the athletic department, not just men's basketball?
Well, I think all of our coaches understand how important for our level, our mid-major level, how important basketball is. Every time we have a home game, it's a big recruiting weekend. The fan support, the press that we get, the interest that we have, it's huge in terms of elevating the sort of front door attitude of Monmouth athletics. And so I think they're all very, very supportive of the emphasis that is on basketball. And I think that we'll all gain by this association, and all boats will rise.
I would imagine schedules now will be the key, getting everything in lockdown. Is this transition, unlike others in this conference alignment that continues at the NCAA level, this transition starts immediately, starting with next fall?
It does. And although it's difficult for the Northeast Conference for them to lose a member this quickly, I think it's good for our student athletes and our coaches to move right in and not be in any hostile gyms for the next couple of years as we wait to make that transition. But scheduling, yes, it's on the agenda right away, and I know all my coaches will be lined up asking me what's next.
Well, they can get in line. Dr. McNeil, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on the move into the MAAC and continued success here at Monmouth.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Dr. Marilyn McNeil here in the second floor of the Multipurpose Activity Center. The transition into the MAAC starts now with play beginning in 2013-2014. For more on this move from the NEC into the MAAC, log on to GoMUHawks.com. Thanks for joining us here on Hawk Vision.